This is PokePress coverage of the 2010 Pokemon Trading Card and Video Game World Championships in Kona, Hawaii. Alright folks, here we go with Game 1 of the Senior Finals from Worlds 2010 in the video game. So for the purposes of this video, I'll be referring to the players as top and bottom. So the top player is the player on the left in the inset video, the bottom player is the player on the right. So the top player sends out Ludicolo and Lugia, the bottom player sends out Groudon and Cresselia. Groudon uses Protect on the first turn, and Lugia uses Substitute. Now Substitute drains 1/4 of your health, but it turns your character into a little doll type thing that can withstand that much damage. And if more damage is that, then the Substitute breaks, but doesn't take that any more damage from that attack. Now, Cresselia just used Trick Room, which reverses the speed relationships between Pokemon in play. So the slowest Pokemon will go first, starting with the next turn, and the fastest one will go last, barring any priority moves. So Groudon uses Rock Slide, Ludicolo avoids the attack, but it does still hit Lugia. And of course, Lugia is a part flying, so it takes double damage from Rock Slide. And that does enough damage to break the Substitute. And Cresselia uses Light Screen, which raises special defense for both members of the team. And Ludicolo uses Grass Knot on Groudon. Grass Knot, of course, does more damage the heavier the defending Pokemon is, and Groudon is, of course, weak to grass. So it takes a substantial amount of damage. And Lugia uses Blizzard. Now, there's no hail in effect, so actually it has just normal accuracy. But it does hit both of the defending Pokemon. Groudon just barely hangs on. And Cresselia takes a little bit of damage. Now, Cresselia isn't that great for attacking. It can learn a lot of interesting moves, but its main asset is its defensive stat. Sunlight, of course, is going on because Groudon has the Drought ability. So during our next turn, Cresselia uses Helping Hand, which is a move that can be tutored. And Helping Hand increases the power of the other Pokemon for this turn. And Rock Slide hits both of the defending Pokemon this time. And of course it'll do extra damage to Lugia, which barely hangs on there. And we get a flinch on Ludicolo and Lugia. So flinching with Rock Slide is only a 30% chance. So that's pretty good for our bottom player. Another Helping Hand. You'll see that a lot from Cresselia. Like I said, its attack stats aren't great, so it sort of makes up by using this when the other Pokemon needs to attack. And then we get in our Rock Slide. Oh, unfortunately, Lugia avoids that attack for our bottom player. And the Grass Knot heads towards Groudon and knocks it out. Yes, Earth Power. Remember, Cresselia has Levitate, so ground moves won't affect it under normal conditions. Still have that Sunlight until another Pokemon with a weather condition comes in, or another weather move is used. You'll notice Ludicolo has some leftovers, which heal a little bit of its health between turns. And our bottom player sends out Fly By Night, which is a Dialga. I'm not sure exactly where that nickname comes from. And Ludicolo uses Protect. Yeah, Cresselia tries to use Psychic. Dialga uses Dragon Pulse on Lugia. Yep, and that takes it out. Leftovers activates again. And as you know, Trick Room is a time-limited move, and the dimensions just went back to normal, so speed relationships are restored. So the top player sends out a Tyranitar, which has the ability that automatically creates a Sandstorm. Sandstorm will damage any Pokemon between turns that are not rock, ground, or metal, or steel, I should say. So we get in our Helping Hand from Cresselia. And Ludicolo plants a Leech Seed. So Leech Seed will take a little bit of health away from the Pokemon that was seeded towards the Pokemon that seeded. Now, if another Pokemon switches into that position, that Pokemon will still get the Leech Seed benefit, as long as the other Pokemon, the one that was seeded, remains in play. So we get a low kick from Tyranitar to Dialga. But you'll notice here that normally that's super effective because Dialga is part steel, which is weak to fighting, but it has a Chople Berry, which reduces the amount of damage done to just normal effective from 2 times. And we still have that Sandstorm, which now will start damaging Cresselia because it is psychic only. So the top player sends out a Palkia, and has pressure, of course. Get in our Helping Hand. And we get a substitute from Palkia. And we get a Dragon Pulse, which is... Dragon is Palkia's, as a Water Dragon type, only weakness. So normally that move would do a lot of damage, but the substitute minimizes that and it just breaks, and we're back to Palkia. And we get another low kick to Dialga. And it does in fact do enough damage to knock Dialga out. Palkia also takes Sandstorm damage because, again, it's not metal, rock, or ground. And that Leech Seed is still, in fact, Cresselia is still out. So Palkia gets a little bit of its health back. He does have one Pokemon left, and that's his Ludicolo for the bottom player. And we get a Helping Hand there. And we get another substitute from Palkia. And Ludicolo uses Grass Knot on Tyranitar. Tyranitar is dark rock, so it is weak to grass, and of course it's quite heavy, being the size it is. But it does. Even though it's a critical hit, you'll notice we see it moving, which means it must have a Focus Sash. A Focus Sash will save you with 1 HP remaining if you get hit by an attack that would normally knock you out, but you had full health going in. And we get a payback. Ludicolo does have a tiny amount of health. The Sandstorm, which, remember, Ludicolo is grass water, does enough damage. And now Cresselia is in fact alone. And we get Spatial Rend, Palkia's signature move, done to Cresselia. Puts it into the red zone, and we get a Rock Slide from Tyranitar. And that's it for Game 1. Stay tuned for Game 2 and see what happens. This has been a PokePress Special Report.